Hi everyone, welcome back to Maximum Attack Rallying. It's Thursday, so it is video day. I promised you, well, I don't know if I promised, but I said I would try and make this video more positive. So let's start with a positive. I do want to say thank you to everyone that watched the last video and commented on it. That has become my biggest video so far since I restarted doing regular vlogs, so I'm very, very grateful for that. It was just great to see so many people having their say and engaging with it. I really like chatting to people in the comments and talking about things and seeing what you guys think. So yeah, I'm really, really grateful for that. Obviously, this is a very small channel right now, so all of that support helps, all of those views help and comments help and likes help and subscriptions help. So thank you everyone for that. It was really great to see what you think. Obviously not the biggest kind of number overall in YouTube terms, but I think it does still kind of say something in FIA terms, doesn't it? It does send a little bit of a message in that the consensus was very much against this whole space frame thing, particularly in Rally 2. So that says something, doesn't it? That says something. Anyway, so thank you for that. That was a bit of positivity. This video isn't negative as such. Unless you're Takamoto Katsuta perhaps, but obviously I can't not talk about the Toyota thing. It's been a challenging year for Toyota, hasn't it? Perhaps not gone as they hoped. See, they've been the kind of major player in the championship for the last few years. I think this was supposed to be Elfyn Evans' year, wasn't it? It hasn't quite panned out that way. So before what happened yesterday, which we'll come to, Jari-Matti Latvala had said after the Acropolis rally that their title ambitions were probably over. It looks like the Drivers' Championship's gone. It looks like the Manufacturers' Championship has gone. That said, it does only take a DNF for Neuville. If Neuville doesn't score any points in Chile and Ogier scores a maximum, for example, it blows it wide open because the gap drops back to 8 points. So it's not over. But I do see what he's getting at. And what Jari-Matti Latvala also said is that it might be time for a change of plan and a focus on building momentum for next year. Well, it seems like that plan might now be being put into action, because we received the news yesterday that Takamoto Katsuta has been dropped for Rally Chile to be replaced by Sami Pajari, who will do Chile and Central European Rally. Ooh. Obviously, Toyota tried to put a very positive spin on this, didn't they, and say that it was a promotion for Pajari and they're looking at him for the future and he's done really well. And he has done really well. You know, he's scored wins in Rally 2 this year, hasn't he? He's right in the mix with the championship battle. He had a fantastic Rally 1 debut in Finland where he won his first stage. So for Pajari, this is all good, isn't it? This is the next step in his development. Chile and CE are a great chance to prove that he is ready. And I think if we're being honest with ourselves, he will get some kind of Rally 1 program for next year, won't he? I think that is pretty much a given. While Toyota tried to play down the whole Katsuta thing, I think it's fairly significant, isn't it? For him to be benched for Chile is, it's not good, is it? And I think it was probably unexpected. I have mixed feelings about Katsuta. He is a lovely, lovely man, really lovely guy. Chatted to him a bit in Portugal earlier this year, and lovely guy. Always makes time for people, very chatty, very relaxed around the media. But he's just not had a good year, has he? 5 super rallies this year is his total so far, which is a real shame. I think a lot of people would have written Katsuta off. I have been guilty of writing Katsuta off. I think, you know, he obviously hasn't had the meteoric rise of someone like Kalarov and Pera. And, you know, he's been kind of building and building and building, hasn't he? And I think some people, myself included, have probably felt that he's kind of there because Toyota so desperately want a Japanese driver in the lineup. I'm not saying that's the only reason he's there, of course it isn't, but I think people, you know, it's easy to feel like, well, you know, if he was British or Finnish or French, would he still be there, or would someone else have got that seat? You know, the Toyota really want a Japanese driver in their team. They're continuing with this challenge program to find the next generation, and that is great. That is admirable, because I think from a marketing perspective and a kind of building rallying up in their home market, I think that's a great idea. So I'm not against it by any means, but I think you know, it maybe means that Katsuta gets, you know, quite a good opportunity. But that said, if you look at his record over the end of last season and the beginning of this season, I would say he's been going in the right direction. For me, he started to convince me. You know, he showed really good pace in Japan. He was in the fight for the lead there. Unfortunately, crashed out. In Sweden this year, he was in the lead battle again. Unfortunately, crashed out. And that is perhaps where the problem has come, isn't it? He has started to show rally winning speed, but what he hasn't been able to do is turn that rally winning speed into results. He did finish second in Safari Rally earlier this year, but since then it has all gone a bit wrong. As I said, we've had 5 super rallies this year, and Toyota have obviously decided that it's time for a bit of a break and a bit of a reset. Will he be back? Well, yes, he will be at Central European Rally and he will be at Rally Japan. I don't think he's necessarily about to lose his seat, but it is a big wake-up call, isn't it? I think prior to yesterday, I don't think anyone expected that Katsuta was on the verge of losing his seat, even for one rally, and it turns out that he is not immune. So it shows, doesn't it, that Toyota are thinking very seriously about their driver lineup for next year, and it is not guaranteed. You know, the next generation of drivers is going through that challenge program, so he will at some point potentially face a threat from that direction. And obviously, with the likes of Sami Pajari coming through, nothing is guaranteed, is it? Nothing is guaranteed. It does raise a question, doesn't it? What do Toyota do in 2025? Because they find themselves in this strange position, don't they, where they've got a big pool of drivers now. They're a bit like Hyundai. They've got lots and lots of drivers to choose from, and not all of them are proving themselves. You know, Elfyn Evans has not had a particularly good year. He crashed out in Finland, didn't he? Rolled in Greece after having had a turbo problem, which was obviously not his fault. But he started the year okay, fairly consistent, but it's just kind of got worse. You know, he's not had a good feeling with the car, and his championship charge has just not come off. So that hasn't been very good. Katsuta obviously hasn't had a great year. So they've kind of relied on Ogier and Rovanperä to deliver them the results. It's been a strange year, hasn't it? And if you look ahead towards next year, it's like, well, what does a team do when its part-time drivers are actually its best drivers? Its full-time drivers have not been performing. You've got a young Pajari coming through. It raises some questions, doesn't it, about what your lineup should actually look like. So in the midst of this, I am going to make my suggestion, which I'm sure Jari-Matti Latvala will listen to, of what I think they should do, or what will probably happen, and what they need to do to take the fight back to Hyundai, which is probably going to be the final kind of Toyota Hyundai battle, isn't it? As Hyundai are probably going at the end of next season. I think at this point, so we know that Rovanperä is coming back. He is contracted to do the full season next year, so they will have their lead driver back, won't they? They will have their reliable lead driver and championship contender back. That will make a massive difference and will put them right back in the championship fight in reality, won't it? You cannot underestimate the ability of Kalle Rovanperä. So that is obviously a huge, huge benefit, and it's going to make a massive difference. I think that Elfyn Evans is probably safe. I think he will be given next season. You know, he has delivered good results for that team. Yes, he missed out on the championship battle this year, kind of. You know, it's kind of got worse, hasn't it? He was in it at the start, but it's never really kicked on. But, you know, he did come close to winning the championship twice. I think he will be given next year, perhaps at the end of next year. If things are still going badly, then maybe we'll be in a discussion, but I think he's safe. That leaves the third and fourth and possibly fifth cars, doesn't it? I think Pajari is a shoo-in. Pajari will get some kind of campaign. It might be split between Rally 2 and Rally 1 still, but he will be doing some events next year. I think that's a given. Unless Chile and CER go terribly, I think that's a given. So the question then becomes, how do they fit Pajari in with Katsuta and with Ogier? For me, Ogier will do less events, I think, regardless of what happens this year. I think unless he misses out on the championship by 2 or 3 points, I think he will drop off next year and do fewer events, particularly with Rovanperä coming back. I don't think he will feel inclined to do as many rallies. So I expect a low-key campaign from Ogier next year. That could mean that if he does 3 or 4 rallies, say, that Pajari does the remaining rallies, or we could be in a situation where Katsuta doesn't do a full season and Pajari splits with him, and obviously they have the option to run 4th cars here and there. I think we will probably see Katsuta full time. I think, you know, if he does okay at CER and Rally Japan, I think he'll do next season, and that'll be that. I think he will be safe until they have a Japanese driver that they feel could replace him. So my sense is that we will see on every rally, we will see Rovanperä, Evans and Katsuta. We will have a 4th car. It might not necessarily be on every single event, but that will be split between Ogier and Pajari. I think Ogier will do Monte Carlo and maybe a couple of others that he feels like doing, and then Pajari will do Finland, obviously, Estonia, I suspect. He'll do fast gravel and maybe a couple of other events to get his shoeing, a tarmac event or something. Sweden, I think, is maybe quite likely, just to continue his development. That is my sense. So, regardless, it's a big week. I would say this has been a massive, massive week for Toyota, and it has shown a huge shift in their focus for the rest of 2024 and potentially for 2025. So big, big news, massive for Katsuta. I do feel bad for him, but it's a wake-up call, isn't it? So I'm going to leave it there, a bit shorter than the last video. Once again, thank you very much for watching that last video. I really appreciate it. Also, please do like, comment, subscribe, and keep us pushing forward and up the ladder, because that definitely helps. I do really appreciate your support. Make sure you follow me on socials as well, and I will see you again in the next video.